You don't need a gym membership. You don't need green smoothies, protein shakes, or 10,000 steps a day. Because in Okinawa, people live to 100 by doing the exact opposite. They eat until they're just 80% full. They garden instead of working out. And they never do it alone. Want to know how they stay healthy, joyful, and strong well into their 90s? Let me show you. Have you ever looked in the mirror and whispered to yourself, where did the time go? One moment you're chasing after toddlers, cooking for a house full of noise, staying up late with energy to spare, and then, almost without noticing, your knees ache getting out of bed, the stairs seem steeper, and energy feels like something you have to schedule. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be this way? What if your best years aren't behind you, but still ahead? You've probably seen the images. An 89-year-old man in Japan riding his bike, a 97-year-old woman laughing with her Moai, her group of lifelong friends after tending her garden. Not frail, not fading, but radiant, awake, living. What is their secret? It's not found in a pill bottle or some fancy clinic. The secret to Japanese longevity, especially in places like Okinawa, is built on simple choices. And the best part? It's never too late to start. Even if you're 60, 70, or 80, your body is listening and it wants to heal. Let me show you what they do differently. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find something in their way of life that speaks to you and inspires you to try one small change today. The first secret? They eat with awareness. In Okinawa, elders follow a rule called Hara Hachi Bu. It means you stop eating when you're about 80% full, not stuffed, not bloated, just satisfied. It's a habit that trains your body to stay light, your digestion to stay healthy, and your mind to stay in control. Now imagine if you tried that. Just pause for a moment before reaching for that extra bite. Not because you have to, but because you choose to honor your body. That shift alone can change your energy, your sleep, even your weight, without dieting. And it's not just how much they eat, it's what they eat. Their meals are vibrant with color, deep greens, oranges, and purples. From vegetables, seaweed, and sweet potatoes. Meat is a side dish, not the star. Processed sugar? Rare. Fast food? Unthinkable. Instead of white rice or bread, they eat purple sweet potatoes packed with antioxidants. They fill their plates with tofu, miso, green tea, and legumes. These aren't fancy superfoods. They're everyday foods that protect the heart, the brain, and even reduce cancer risks. But food is just one part of the picture. Okinawan elders move, gently, every day. Not with gym memberships or intense routines, but with purposeful movement. They garden. They walk to the market. They bend to pick herbs, sweep porches, or kneel to make tea. They don't work out. They live actively. And that is something we can all do starting now. No matter your age, your body still wants to move. You can stretch. You can dance a little while brushing your teeth. You can lift your arms to the sky and breathe. Maybe it sounds too simple, but that's the beauty of it. You don't need to turn your life upside down. You just need to begin today with one small, loving choice. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Because this isn't about living longer. It's about living better, about waking up with purpose, about taking control of your health, even if the doctors said it's too late. Even if your joints creak and your energy dips, you still have the power to turn the page. And that power begins with one question: what do I wake up for? In Japan, they have a word for it. It's called Ikigai, your reason for getting out of bed in the morning. And if you don't know yours yet, don't worry. We're going to find it together. So let's return to that beautiful question: what do I wake up for? For the elders in Okinawa, that answer is always close to their hearts. They call it Ikigai, your reason for being, your joy, your motivation, your why. And it doesn't have to be something big. It could be caring for a plant, baking an old family recipe, or simply feeding the neighborhood cat each morning. There was once a man, 102 years old, who woke up every single day to visit his two prize bulls. He brushed them, talked to them, cared for them like family. That was his Ikigai. What about you? Maybe your Ikigai used to be your job or your children, but now maybe it's time to find a new one. And that's not something to fear, it's something to celebrate, because finding a new purpose is the first step to feeling alive again. You see, when we lose a sense of purpose, our days can begin to blur. We go through the motions, but the spark is missing. That's when loneliness creeps in. That's when we start aging faster, not just in the body, but in the soul. And that brings us to another powerful secret from the Okinawan way of life. They never walk alone. They're part of something called a Moai, a small, tight-knit social group that stays together for life. Friends who check in, share meals, laugh together, cry together. Imagine having 4 or 5 people who really know you, who notice if you're missing, who bring soup when you're sick, and listen when you feel low. These aren't Facebook friends. These are real people, face to face, heart to heart, and that's something we can all learn from. Because no matter how strong we are, we need connection. Studies show that people with meaningful friendships live longer, heal faster, and feel more satisfied with life. So if you've been feeling isolated lately, if your days feel too quiet, this is your invitation. Reach out. Call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Invite a neighbor for tea. Join a local group. Even if it feels awkward at first, you are not meant to go through life alone. In Japan, they even have community centers where elders gather to play games, share stories, or just sit together in silence. That shared presence is medicine. And here's the best part. When you reach out, you don't just heal yourself, you heal others too. And if you're thinking, but I've gotten too used to being alone, or no one has time for me anymore, let me gently challenge that thought, because there is someone out there who needs your story, your kindness, your wisdom. Maybe you'll be their Moai. The Okinawan elders don't retire in the traditional sense. There's no word for retirement in their language. They just keep doing what they love, for as long as they can. A fisherman still fishes, a potter still shapes clay, a grandmother still knits with love in every stitch. And that's what we need to remember. Staying engaged is one of the greatest medicines of all, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Because the moment you stop feeling useful, the light inside you dims. But the moment you find something or someone to care for, the light returns. So if no one has told you this lately, let me say it clearly. You still matter. Your life, your time, your presence, they still have value. And your story is far from over. Let's take a deep breath together, because there's one more piece to this puzzle, one that's harder to measure, but deeply felt, one that doesn't come in the form of a pill or a checklist. It's the way Okinawans live, not just what they eat or how they move, but how they see life. They don't rush. There's no obsession with schedules. Time feels different in Okinawa. Life unfolds in a slower rhythm, one that honors rest, silence, and being fully present. They trust that everything important will get done, eventually. That mindset, what some researchers call time abundance, reduces stress. It protects the heart. It gives your nervous system a break from the constant noise. And you can practice it too right now by simply doing one thing at a time. Savor your tea. Watch the sun move across the floor. Pause, breathe. That too is healing. And when it comes to stress, Okinawans have mastered something else: emotional resilience. Life hasn't been easy for them. They've faced war, loss, poverty, but they've developed a calm strength, a kind of inner flexibility. They don't suppress emotions, but they don't let them take over either. In fact, researchers found that some Okinawans carry a gene that helps them resist stress. But even those who don't live as if they do. Why? Because their lifestyle supports emotional strength. They talk, they gather, they cry, laugh, pray, reflect, and then keep moving forward. And that brings us to something even deeper: their connection to the spirit. Okinawans maintain a quiet, steady bond with something greater than themselves. They speak to their ancestors. They visit sacred groves. They believe in the spirit of nature, in the wisdom of the land. Every year, families come together to honor those who came before, sharing food and stories, as if their loved ones are still right there at the table. Now, maybe your beliefs are different, and that's okay, but the lesson is universal. Stay connected, whether through prayer, meditation, nature, or simply lighting a candle for someone you miss. Find moments to feel grounded. Because we are more than just bodies, we are stories, we are hearts, we are souls in motion. And above all, Okinawans live with gratitude. They don't focus on what they've lost, they focus on what they still have. A bowl of miso soup, a good friend, a sunrise, a strong pair of legs that still carry them to the garden gate. So if there's one habit to start today, let it be this. Say thank you, not just to others, but to your own body, to your life, to this very moment. Because longevity is not about counting years. It's about making each year count. And now, let me leave you with this. You don't need to live in Japan to live like the Okinawans. You can wake up tomorrow, find your Ikigai, nourish your body with love, gather with your Moai, slow down your days, breathe through the stress, reconnect with your spirit, and begin again. Even if you're 60, 70, or 90, it's not too late. In fact, it's the perfect time. So here's to you, your strength, your stories, your future. Let's make it a joyful one. And if this video reminded you that you still matter, leave a comment below and share one habit you're inspired to try. If you found value in this, give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Because your best years still have stories to tell. Here's to living fully, freely, and with purpose at any age.